really want to give the few tips today, less about preparing for the interview, but more about what to do when you're already talking with the person. Keep it conversational. During the interview, aim to create this conversational atmosphere rather than one-sided exchange of questions and answers. I believe in Australia, and it could be some cultural difference as well, but in Australia, there is more often the screening interview is more like relaxed and informal conversation where people, appreciate engaging in a friendly chat rather than just this rigid, Q&A session. Try not to focus on solemnly providing, correct answer. It's more about your personality, actively interacting with the interviewer, demonstrate this genuine engagement. Even if you're not a perfect match for the specific role, if the person, engage with you in a nice conversation, they will most likely to remember you. And there is a few tips to make sure you do it this way. The one is really obvious one. It's stop talking too much. I love this quote by Mark Twain. I didn't have time to write you a short letter, so I wrote you a long one. Avoid excessive talking, during the interview. Remember, again, keep it conversational. It's not a monologue. If you feel like you're talking too much, it's probably because you're talking too much. Screening interview, again, have time constraints, so you need to allow the interviewer to ask questions that they want to ask. Yeah, so you don't want to give the monologue of 15 minutes and then they feel like they haven't had a chance to even get to the questions they wanted to ask you. And again, listening is a valuable skill, so don't need to fill every moment of silence with the talk, so make sure to listen. And I think some people mistakenly believe that if they talking extensively about themselves and listing all the achievements, so that's beneficial because they have a chance to tell all the, great things that they have done. However, in reality, it's crucial to provide interviewer with the information they are seeking, in the concise manner. You don't need to overwhelm them with every detail of your background. And it's all about, again, effectively communicating the relevant qualifications and experience and focusing on delivering the key points that align with the questions. Don't need to go off the tangent. Look, straight away, the opposite tip is don't respond with one-liners. You don't want to talk for, 10 minutes nonstop, but you also don't want to just respond with 1 second, yes, no, maybe. If you're responding simply with just yes, no, you can come across a bit robotic, again, disinterested, lacking the engagement. Try to provide more thoughtful answers and, showcase your interest, your knowledge, and your ability to communicate effectively. It's about finding this balance. You don't want to be too long with your answers, but you don't want to do, to be just the yes, no. It's almost like interviewer talking with a spy, trying to get the information from the candidate. And it's a cultural difference, I think, as well. There's definitely some cultural difference. Some culture people more like talking about trying to say everything and go on a monologue about themselves for 10 years. Because I'm Russian, I can relate. I think Russians and Eastern Europeans, we're a bit more reserved, and we tend to just give the really short one sentence answers, which is, not engaging enough. So it's about finding this balance. Another point that kind of really similar, just to put it all together for you, to continue that sort of conversation, make sure you ask follow-up question after you giving your answer. Ask the interviewer if they would like to, if they would like you to expand on a particular topic. Is anything else they would like you to cover? And so again, demonstrating that interest and providing the relevant information. So if they ask you about, tell me about your current project. So you can say I don't know, currently I'm working as a DevOps engineer, and we work on migration from on-premises to the cloud. I'm using some tools like Terraform and building everything with Jenkins pipeline. And then you ask, you don't go on the tangent again for 10 minutes describing every single tool you're using and everything you're doing in this project. You gave the review, you gave like few sentences of overview of what you're doing, and then you ask, would you like me to elaborate on it? Would you like me to address anything in more details? You engage in conversation, and you let people to ask the questions that they really want to ask, because they might not need to listen to the whole things that you've been doing in this project. They really want to find those sort of relevant pieces of information. That's bring me to the my next tip is adapt your style to match the interviewer. And look, I'm not suggesting you what's in the picture. I'm not suggesting you to wear the same things, but try to adapt your communication style to match the interviewer. So, for example, if the person speaks slow with you, adjust and start speaking a bit slowly. If the person speaks quickly, try to keep up and talk quickly. So you need to kind of mirror the communication style and also mirror the level of formality as well. If person is started the interview quite formal, you probably have to stick to it. But the person is started interview more informal, with a small talk, talking about weather. You can engage in that small talk and maybe answer a little bit more informal as well. You don't want this massive difference and someone asking you really formal question and you just answering in a relaxed manner, or vice versa, and the person kind of trying to be more informal and relate to you, and you just like trying to stay formal and thank you, sir. Thank you for your question, sir. I'm gonna give you the throughout answer. Try to adapt your style. And remember, people naturally gravitate towards others who are similar to them. It's ingrained in human psychology. So utilize that, this understanding to build this rapport and establish this positive connection with the interviewer. Which brings me to the next point. Pay attention to your body language. We need to pay attention to our body language probably everywhere in life, but you need to actually pay attention to your body language even if you're not on video. Yes? So obviously in video it's more crucial, but even if you're not on video, even if you're talking with the interviewer on the phone, make sure you stand up straight or like sit up straight, open your chest, take deep breaths. It's incredible how much difference it makes in your voice. And remembering to smile as well. We heard it so many times that smile can be heard in your voice when you're on the phone. And obviously, if you're on video, it becomes even more crucial to be mindful of your body language. Make sure look straight into the camera, avoid unnecessary movements, use the gestures that actually enhancing your speech and not distracting. So if presenting in front of the camera is challenging for you, I would actually really recommend you to watch some of my old videos. I have a series of videos about how to feel confident in front of the camera with millions of tips there. But the main things, I guess, here, it's if you're on video, again, look directly into the camera, smile, and avoid some, when I'm saying unnecessary movements, and like don't just start like rolling on the chair, like looking at your hair, like adjusting things, rolling just don't. I mean, like if you kind of freeze and don't move at all, it also looks awkward, but I think it's better than like shaking in the chair, because it just will be too distracting. If you feel like you're uncomfortable like moving naturally in front of the camera, just better don't move, seriously. But once you feel more comfortable, then you start incorporate some movements that related to your speech and related to your answers, and not just some random movements that kind of like distract rather than helping you with your answers. It takes a bit of a time, but once you feel comfortable with controlling your body language, also try mirroring the interviewer body language as well. Yes, you can actually mirror them and copy their body language as well. But look, like if you still not feel comfortable doing it, don't try to do it awkwardly, because it will be noticeable. But with the practice, it comes naturally. It's kind of unconscious move. Like if someone, if you interview a seat like this, you just naturally will copy their pose usually. If someone like lean back, it's will lean back. If someone moving forward, you will move forward. You need to be conscious about it, but like don't try just like repeat what the interviewer does. Yes, so it will be too noticeable. So it needs to be subtle, but it does make a difference. You'll be surprised. People will relate, and you're trying to relate to them, even if it's just something simple that copying their pose.